welcome to the deep dive. We're really excited you're joining us today because we are getting into something that affects literally everyone who attends, plans, or, well, even just thinks about large social gatherings.
Yeah, it's a totally universal experience, right?
Exactly. I mean, we are looking at the radical, and I mean really radical, evolution of weddings in 2026.
It's been a massive shift.
It really has. Like, forget the days of having, 15 bridesmaids and this endless row of groomsmen.
Oh, the matching outfits.
Right. The matching outfits, the chaotic, sprawling logistics that took up your entire weekend.
Yeah, it's basically gone.
It is. The new standard right now is sleek, it's streamlined, and it is shockingly efficient.
Which is such a relief, honestly.
So much of a relief. So our source today, and this is kind of the mission for our whole deep dive, is this really insightful guide called Streamlining Logistics with Fewer Attendants in 2026 Weddings.
It's a great piece of research.
It's really great. And we're going to unpack exactly how modern couples are just completely rethinking the structure of their big day.
Yeah, they're trading all that massive human infrastructure for digital efficiency.
Exactly. And we really want to look at how this shift affects everyone, from the couple getting married all the way down to you, the guest.
Because it does. It changes the whole dynamic. And to give some context here, this isn't just some aesthetic trend on social media.
Right. It's not just about what looks good in photos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental rethinking of how large-scale social events actually operate.
Yeah.
It's being driven by this intense desire for quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And obviously drastically reduce stress.
Oh, 100%.
Plus the seamless integration of technology, which we'll get into.
Right. Because, if I had to make an analogy here, the traditional wedding always felt to me like this massive, clunky corporate hierarchy.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Like you have the CEO couple and then the VP maid of honor and the middle management groomsmen, and instructions just get lost.
Total logistical leakage.
Exactly. But a 2026 wedding, it's like a lean, agile tech startup.
Very lean.
Every single moving part has a highly specific, optimized purpose. There's no fluff.
No fluff at all. And that really brings us to the first major paradigm shift the source talks about, which is just why the bridal party is shrinking so drastically.
Right. Like, why are we suddenly seeing, maybe one attendant instead of 10?
Well, the core information here is that modern couples are heavily prioritizing intimate guest lists and streamlined operations.
Over the traditional sprawling entourage.
Exactly. And to unpack the why behind that trend, it's pretty simple math. Fewer people directly translates to easier scheduling.
Which makes sense. Trying to coordinate makeup schedules for 12 people at 6 in the morning.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
It really is.
And it's not just the scheduling, it's the communication, and crucially, it's about minimizing management.
The management load.
Yes. The management load is a huge concept in this guide. Because when you reduce that load, the couple can actually, be present.
Rather than playing project manager.
Right. You don't want to be the project manager of your own wedding day. You want to be the one getting married.
Okay, but let's unpack this a little bit. I want to push back just for the sake of argument.
Sure.
If you cut the bridal party, don't you kind of lose that built-in support system?
How do you mean?
Well, who is holding the dress when you have to go to the bathroom? Or who is fixing the tie or managing the weird uncle?
Right, the amateur stagehand.
Exactly. Don't you lose all that?
It's a fair question, but the source actually points out that this shift leads to stronger connections.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Because by removing that large group dynamic, the mandatory roles, the titles, the rigid expectations, the couple can actually focus on deep, meaningful relationships.
So you're saying the help is still there, it's just not formalized.
Exactly. Your best friend is still going to hold your dress. They're still going to fix your tie. But they aren't stressed out because they've been awake since dawn doing mandatory photos and matching robes.
Right. They get to just be your friend.
Exactly. You're not managing a crowd of employees anymore. You're just interacting with your closest people organically.
Wow. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And here's the pivot. If you remove the human staff of a wedding party, the ushers handing out programs, the groomsmen directing people.
Right, all those little logistical jobs.
Exactly. You have to replace that support with something else, right? Because the guests still need to know where to go.
Absolutely. The need for logistics doesn't vanish.
Which seamlessly leads us into the role of technology. And honestly, this is where the 2026 landscape gets wild.
It's completely revolutionary. The digital arsenal available now is just It's staggering compared to even 5 years ago.
Totally. So the text highlights all these things: digital invitations, real-time guest tracking, QR code
No
check-ins.
more printed itineraries.
Thank goodness. I always lost those anyway.
We all did. They just end up crumpled in a pocket. But now all of that is shared digitally. And the absolute centerpiece of this technological shift, the platform the source really spotlights, is Weddizer.
Yes, Weddizer. We have to talk about Weddizer. It seems like the prime example of what is driving this whole modern evolution.
It really is. It's not just an app. It's a whole digital ecosystem.
Right. It offers like these incredibly smart planning tools, direct vendor connections, and tailored digital solutions.
It basically empowers couples to manage the whole day effortlessly.
It's crazy. Like, trying to manage a wedding without something like Weddizer, it's kind of like navigating a massive cross-country road trip using one of those giant folding paper maps.
Oh yeah, while arguing with everyone in the car about which exit to take.
Exactly. You're stressed, you're lost, you're arguing with your passengers versus, having Weddizer, which is like having a sleek, fully integrated GPS system.
It just seamlessly guides you.
It tells you exactly where to go without the arguing.
That's a perfect analogy. Because platforms like Weddizer completely changed the power dynamic of wedding planning.
How do you mean the power dynamic?
Well, think about the old way. You relied on, say, a dozen attendants to physically herd guests. Okay, everyone, move to the dining room now.
Right, the groomsmen shouting over the cocktail hour music.
Exactly. Or having people stand at a door handing out pieces of paper. It's so manual. But digital tools provide real-time coordination.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you and our listener to just imagine attending a wedding today.
Okay, I'm there.
Your phone seamlessly guides you through the event. You get a push notification that it's time to take your seat.
Oh, I love that.
You scan a QR code and it pulls up a map showing exactly where your table is. There is zero confusion.
No wandering around looking at a giant seating chart while blocking the doorway.
None. The friction is just gone.
It's amazing. But, while technology like Weddizer handles all that communication and the logistical data flow,
Right.
you do still need physical humans to execute the vision, right? The app can't cook the food or play the music.
Right, absolutely. The app is the brain, but you need hands.
Which brings us to this massive strategic shift in vendor management, because this is the new reality.
It is, because with fewer attendants, your vendors become your critical primary support system.
They aren't just background workers anymore.
Not at all. The source outlines a very specific strategy here. Couples are hiring all-in-one services.
So like a single production company instead of a separate DJ, lighting guy, and band?
Exactly. Consolidation.
Mm-hmm.
And they're heavily utilizing planners who specialize specifically in small, tech-enabled weddings.
That makes sense. You need someone who speaks the language of Weddizer.
Precisely. And the guide emphasizes these incredibly detailed pre-event briefings. Everything is mapped out.
Because there's no margin for error. You don't have 20 bridesmaids to run interference if the caterer is late.
Right. And another massive part of this strategy, and this is structurally brilliant, is simplifying the timeline.
Okay, let's get into the timeline. Because I think this is where traditional weddings really, really cause people pain.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
The source explicitly talks about limiting transitions, combining venues.
Yes. Having the ceremony and the reception in the exact same footprint.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it structurally. Every single time a group of humans moves from point A to point B, chaos ensues.
It does. It's like a law of physics.
It really is. You lose people to bathroom breaks, traffic, getting lost. Someone forgot their coat.
Suddenly you are 45 minutes behind schedule just because you changed buildings.
Exactly. So by keeping events incredibly concise and combining the venues, the physical friction of the day drops to practically zero.
Which is incredible. And here's where I think this gets really, really interesting for you as the listener if you're looking at the sociology of this.
Yeah.
We are essentially trading amateur help, which is the bridal party, our friends, for highly specialized professional help, the vendors.
That's exactly what's happening. The capital is shifting.
It is. But the source also has some warnings about this. It's not totally foolproof.
Right. The danger zone.
The danger zone. Because just because you have fewer attendants, that doesn't mean you can just magically dump all that emotional and logistical baggage onto your vendors.
No, absolutely not. And that's a huge mistake people make. The text specifically highlights a few major pitfalls.
What's the biggest one?
Overloading vendors by not clearly defining roles.
Oh, like expecting the photographer to also act as the coordinator.
Exactly. If you fired your bridal party and you didn't hire a dedicated day of coordinator because you thought the app would handle it,
Then you're going to be yelling at the catering staff to cue the string quartet.
which is a disaster. Roles must be explicitly defined in the contracts.
Right. And what about the tech itself? Because, apps crash.
That's the second major pitfall, ignoring backup plans.
Yeah, if Weddizer goes offline or the venue's Wi-Fi drops.
You need a contingency. The tech says you absolutely have to maintain clear communication lines with vendors, guests, and family that don't solely rely on the digital network. Offline backups are critical.
Right, because if the app goes down and you have 0 ushers, you just have 100 confused people wandering a garden.
A very expensive garden.
Yeah.
Which naturally brings us to the financial side of all this.
Yes. The money. Because I was thinking about this. If you aren't paying for this huge army of attendants.
Right. The gifts, the hair, the makeup.
Exactly. And you aren't paying for massive transportation buses because you eliminated the venue transitions, where does all that money go? Do people just spend less?
Well, that's the fascinating part. The core information from the source shows that while having fewer attendants leads to significant cost savings in certain areas.
Like attire, gifts, transportation.
Right. And accommodation. Even catering for huge rehearsal dinners. But those funds aren't necessarily being saved in a bank account. They are being reallocated.
Oh, okay. Reallocated to what?
Premium experiences.
Okay, define premium experiences.
We're talking high-quality, top-tier photography and videography. Highly personalized, intricate decor.
So quality over quantity.
Exactly. And a really unique guest experiences. It's a total economic reallocation. It's not necessarily about spending less overall, but spending smarter.
Spending with intention.
Right. The focus shifts entirely to elements that create lasting, high-impact memories.
Rather than dropping $5,000 on matching silk robes that get worn once.
Exactly. You're ditching the fleeting logistical necessities for actual value.
And I think I want to ask you, the listener, to just think about this for a second. Think about the last really big traditional wedding you went to.
Oh, this is a great exercise.
Right. Did you actually care about the matching bridesmaid dresses? Did you notice the color of the groomsmen's socks?
Probably not.
Definitely not. What you cared about was the food, the music, and honestly, actually getting to talk to the couple.
Yes, which you could never do before because they were trapped behind a head table with 14 attendants.
Right. The head table. It's so funny you mentioned that. Because this new economic model, it directly elevates the guest experience by breaking down those literal barriers.
It does. The text talks a lot about this. Without a massive wedding party,
Right.
you don't need a head table sequestering the couple away like royalty.
They actually get to mingle.
Exactly. The guide mentions hosting more intimate gatherings, adding highly interactive elements like live music interludes, storytelling moments.
Things that feel personal.
Right. You are personalizing the experience for the people who are actually there, rather than putting on a stage play.
It feels more like a really incredible dinner party than a corporate event.
Exactly. And there is one more huge byproduct of this that the expert source points out, which is a major 2026 trend.
What's that?
Sustainability.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have immediately thought of that.
It makes total sense when you break it down. By reducing the number of attendants, you organically lead to less waste.
Oh, right. Because you don't have 10 people flying across the country for a bachelorette party, and then again for a bridal shower, and then the wedding.
Exactly. You get a massively lower carbon footprint just from reduced travel alone.
And less fast fashion waste from dresses that are worn for 6 hours.
And by eliminating multiple venue transitions, you don't have 100 cars driving across the city in a convoy.
Wow. Yeah. The logistics just naturally lend themselves to a greener event.
The text explicitly links this reduced logistical footprint to minimal resource use overall. It's a win for the budget, a win for the guests, and honestly, a win for the planet.
It's just engineered efficiency. So to kind of pull all these threads together for you as we wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, let's summarize where we are.
The 2026 wedding is essentially a masterclass in efficiency.
It really is.
By relying on these smart platforms like Weddizer, completely rethinking what a vendor's role is and basically slashing the attendant list to the bone.
Right.
Couples are achieving these incredibly elegant, most